All right, so we are about a couple days away from Mike.
Just 1 week before the highly anticipated legend versus influencer showdown, Mike Tyson drops a bombshell. He pulls out of the fight with Jake Paul. Fans were gearing up to see Tyson's legendary power clash with Paul's, well, whatever you want to call it. But now, nothing. Tyson's withdrawal leaves everyone wondering, was it a change of heart, or did his body just give up? After all, the July ulcer tragedy had us thinking this was behind him. But nope, here we are again.
Now to the segment you've all been waiting for. But on November 15th at AT&T Stadium, Mike Tyson will enter the ring to battle Jake Paul.
The fights was rescheduled for November 15th, 2024 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. After all the drama and delays, the showdown was back on. And everyone was questioning, will Tyson show up with his old school thunder, or will Jake Paul finally get his chance to shine? Only time will tell. Stay tuned. Mike Tyson's last-minute withdrawal from the fight with Jake Paul had left the boxing community questioning everything, from his health to his commitment to the sport, and even his overall intentions with the match. And yeah, it doesn't help that Tyson has had this habit of canceling fights over health issues lately. Remember the ulcer from back in July? Tyson had to bow out of a planned fight because of an ulcer flare-up during a flight.
When he finished boxing 20 years ago, he was shot. Agreed? Like, I know you don't upset anyone, but everyone agrees with that. So you think that 20 years on, it's okay for him to go back into a ring?
Now, it's understandable that health issues can arise out of nowhere, and Tyson's camp is insisting that everything's fine, that he's physically fit and back to training. But if you ask around, there's something fishy going on behind the scenes. When a fighter like Tyson prepares for a high-profile match, you'd expect a visible army of trainers, nutritionists, and other specialists all working together to get him into peak condition. But that didn't happen. Tyson is telling the truth. Maybe the ulcer is still causing problems, and that's why he can't make the fight. But when you look at the bigger picture, it starts to look like Tyson may have been looking for a way out. After all, facing Jake Paul, a young, hungry fighter in his prime, might have been more daunting than Tyson originally anticipated. The fact that Tyson's camp can't seem to prove he's been putting in the work only raises more doubts. Fans are skeptical, and they're not wrong to be. But this isn't just some minor setback for Tyson. This is a massive letdown for fans who've been hyped about the fight. They were promised a true clash between two generations, Tyson, the aging legend, against Paul, the internet sensation trying to make a name for himself in the ring. And now, the whole thing's been canceled. Talk about a buzzkill. Talking about Jake Paul for a second, the guy's made his entire career off of viral internet videos, drama, and, yeah, fighting people who aren't exactly known for being the toughest boxers on the planet. But this fight with Tyson was supposed to be his moment. It was supposed to be the point where Paul finally proved that he wasn't just some internet clown trying to make a name for himself in the boxing world. It was his shot to go up against a real legend, to cement himself as more than just a YouTube star. So, when Tyson pulls out, you can imagine the kind of gut punch that would land on Paul's psyche. Paul's initial reaction was one of numbness. Yeah, who wouldn't feel that way? Here he was, months of training and preparation all geared toward one fight, and all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from under him. This was a psychological blow. The whole point of this fight was to elevate his career, to show everyone that he's more than just a YouTube guy who gets lucky. Without Tyson, what was he left with? Sure, Tyson's camp is saying that it's all about health, but come on, this is starting to look like a guy who's trying to avoid a fight that he's suddenly realizing he's not ready for.
That's tight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5.
Maybe Tyson isn't physically prepared to go toe-to-toe with a guy like Paul, who's younger, fitter, and way more used to the grind of consistent boxing training. Tyson's been out of the game for so long, and let's face it, age doesn't care about your legacy. It's a tough pill to swallow, but at 58 years old, Tyson might have realized he just isn't in the shape he used to be.
The highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has a new date. They'll face off in AT&T Stadium on November 15th. That fight was originally scheduled for July, but Tyson recently suffered a flare-up of an ulcer that impacted his training schedule.
Oh, what a roller coaster this has been. The Tyson-Paul fight that was supposed to happen back in July but didn't happen. Tyson pulled out, and the whole thing was called off, leaving fans with their jaws on the floor. But guess what? Just when you thought it was over, Mike Tyson pulls the ultimate plot twist. He's back, baby. The fight was back on, and this time it's set for November 15th, 2024 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. But again, the drama is back. Same episode, same content. You know, 2 months ago when everyone thought Tyson was going to show up with a cane and a walker? Nah, the man's rolling into the ring in grand Tyson fashion, probably with the kind of power that can turn a punch into a viral meme. You know he's bringing the heat this time, right? Because if there's one thing we've learned from this saga, it's that Mike Tyson is a walking plot twist. He's been training, or so we've heard, and even if he's a few years older, you know he still packs a punch that could knock out a building. And just like the ulcer mishap back in July, but we all figured he'd have it together by now, right? Jake Paul's scrambling, fans are pissed, and the boxing world's got a hole in its calendar. Talk about an anticlimax.
You're a legend, but let's get right to the chase. Is this fight happening or not?
It's happening. We're all here.
But will Tyson actually show up this time? Is he going to go toe-to-toe with Jake Paul, the internet sensation turned boxer who's definitely not here for the casual fans' amusement? After all the drama, we still don't know what's going to happen. Well, the answer is yes. And then there's Jake Paul. The guy's probably over here refreshing his inbox like it's Christmas morning, hoping Tyson doesn't pull out again. Jake's had enough drama with this fight to fill a whole season of reality TV. But hey, we get it. He's been waiting to prove himself against a real boxer, and now his shot is finally here. This is his time to shut everyone up, or at least try to. All I'm saying is, after everything that's gone down, the fight of the year just got even messier, probably more entertaining too. Will Tyson show up with his legendary "I'm back, baby" energy? Will Jake Paul do his thing, or is this just another chapter of the circus? Mark your calendars. The drama continues.
There's nothing to say. You're complete.
Exactly, just enough. Beautiful roll, Mike. Excellent roll. Excellent defense, champ. This is the perfect head position. This we talk about it. 40 seconds.
You are winning the fight, so there's no reason for you to rush. We are winning the fight. All good for us.
Interesting tidbit there. Now, again, obviously, they're sparring like Mike is fighting. The fight is 8 rounds. If you guys don't remember, here it is. Scheduled for 8 rounds, 2 minutes and 14-ounce club.
Let's zoom out and talk about the larger celebrity boxing issue. The Tyson-Paul fight was just the latest in a string of high-profile, celebrity-driven matches that have taken over the combat sports world in recent years. But with Tyson pulling out, it's hard not to wonder, how sustainable is this whole trend? I mean, come on, aging legends like Tyson stepping into the ring with influencers and YouTubers? It's starting to feel more like a circus than a legitimate sport. Sure, there's entertainment value, but at what cost? If we're being honest, it feels like a money grab. Tyson wasn't exactly a spring chicken when this fight was announced, and now that he's pulled out, it's easy to see that the fight was more about capitalizing on nostalgia and hype than anything to do with boxing skill.
Do you want to talk about something you've said about Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and you said, listen, I'm not going to watch that last fight, I'm going to walk out. Why?
Because I think it's just disrespectful to the sport, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch.
And let's talk about the fans for a second. They're livid, and rightfully so. The hype surrounding this fight was enormous. Tyson versus Jake Paul wasn't just some random event, it was supposed to be the clash of the generations. Tyson, the aged fighter trying to prove himself once again, and Paul, the young up-and-comer trying to make his mark. Fans were ready to plunk down money for tickets, buy the pay-per-view, and watch it all unfold. Now, they've been left high and dry. People were looking forward to witnessing what could have been a historic fight, and now it's gone. Fans have every right to be furious. Imagine dropping thousands for ringside seats thinking you're about to witness the fight of the century, and then finding out it's canceled.
The highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has a new date. They'll face off in AT&T Stadium on November 15th. That fight was originally scheduled for July, but Tyson recently suffered a flare-up of an ulcer that impacted his training schedule.
So, here we are 1 week out, and the Tyson-Paul fight is finally on, after all the chaos, delays, and drama. But let's be real. Does anyone really know what's going to happen? Tyson pulling out in July raised eyebrows and left us all wondering if this fight was ever going to see the light of day. And what about Jake Paul? Is this his moment to finally shut down the haters and prove he's more than just an internet personality with boxing gloves? Or will he step into the ring and realize he's bitten off more than he can chew? This isn't just about two men trading punches. This is about legacies, ego, and proving that the spotlight doesn't fade when the crowd stops cheering. And the big question is, who's going to walk out of that ring victorious? Is it Tyson's grand return or Jake Paul's moment to shine? Paul's moment to